Now, I can't tell you exactly how to get to Sesame Street, but I can get you pretty close. 123 Sesame Street is a special place located somewhere in Manhattan, New York, filled with characters large and small, grouchy and jolly, but most importantly, ready to learn. Here, where there are sunny days, cloudless skies, and clear airs, we'll talk about how Sesame Street got its start, what it teaches us today, and some of the controversies that it's brought about over the years. So let's start with the creation of Sesame Street. Sesame Street was founded in 1969. Now this was a perfect time for a children's show to air because TVs came out about 20 years earlier but didn't really gain popularity until the 50s. This was also right after the Great Depression and World War II, so soldiers were ready to start making families, and families meant more kids ready to watch television. Joan Gans Cooney, a pioneer in educational media, along with Lloyd Morissette, built Sesame Street on the dream of using television to educate children everywhere. Cooney once even said, "I was born to be in educational television." They then created the Children's Television Workshop, now known as the Sesame Workshop, as an opportunity to create a universal education for preschoolers everywhere. The show started out as an experimental research project led by academic advisors, researchers, and television producers who worked as equals to make the show. Sesame Workshop's mission is to use the educational power of media to help all children reach their highest potential, according to Michael Davis, who's a TV reporter and a columnist that worked really closely with Joan to create his book, Street Gang, The Complete History of Sesame Street. Now that we've talked about how Sesame Street got started, let's take a look at what we can learn from the show today. Inform, improve, measure, repeat. This is a secret formula to Sesame Street's curriculum. According to Robert Morrow, author of Sesame Street and the Reform of Television, cracking the code of learning is a continuous process, and the producers of the show wanted to ensure that the programs and materials are constantly richly engaging and extraordinarily effective. We all know the growing influence that the media has on people young and old today, and Lloyd and Joan wanted to make sure that they use that for a positive thing. Monsters teach the children concepts in a fun and exciting way, and there are 4 general topics that Sesame Street uses in its curriculum to teach. The first one is literacy and numeracy. So these are your basic building blocks of education, your ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, shapes, colors, and these are taught by monsters like Cookie Monster and Big Bird, or even Count Von Count. Then we see emotional well-being. So this is building resilience in children so that they can cope during tough times, whether that's in school, at home, or just in life in general. Third, we see health and wellness. So this is establishing a foundation for healthy habits. And ironically, a monster that lives in a trash can teaches us the importance of washing our hands, eating healthy foods, or even being active every day. The one that I think is most important, and it's also the last one, is fostering respect and understanding amongst the world's children. Grover, or as he likes to call himself, Super Grover, travels the world in order to teach us how important it is to accept other people's cultures and traditions and realize that everyone is special no matter their shape, color, size, or disabilities they may have, as well as keep us up to date on the world's issues. Now that we've covered the curriculum for the show, let's take a look at some of the disagreements that the show has brought about over the years. Sesame Street has, for the most part, had a positive impact all over the globe, but it has also stirred up some controversy. We all know best friends Bert and Ernie. There have been rumors for years that the 2 puppets lived in an unspoken homosexual relationship. The producers of Sesame Workshop have always stated that any affection between live-in best buds Bert and Ernie strictly ends at friendship. But we see, even today, that this idea of a homosexual relationship still permeates pop culture. In 2013, the Sesame Workshop had to reiterate its stance on their relationship after the New Yorker magazine ran a cover of the 2 sitting on a couch, cuddling up, watching the Supreme Court rejection of Defense of Marriage Act, making gay marriage legal. Then, as childhood obesity started coming to the forefront in the last decade or so, Sesame Street got some pushback on what the Cookie Monster was really teaching children. They then put the Cookie Monster on a diet in 2005 and started introducing the Veggie Monster, who promoted cookies as a sometimes food and supported the idea of eating sweets in moderation. While the move was motivated in response to the health issue, others applauded the change amid the views that Cookie Monster's obsession with sweets made him, as New York Times called it, a child's first addict. To wrap it up, today we've covered how Sesame Street got its start, the curriculum that it uses, and some of the controversies that it's brought about over the years. Sesame Street has taught boys and girls all over the globe valuable life skills, and hopefully this classic will be around to teach our children those skills as well.